Welcome to the Numerology and Astrology for February 4th, 2022. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 12, and if you add the 1 and the 2 together, you get the number 3. The number 3 asks us to question illusion, deception, mystery, and truth. This number is associated with Neptune, the god of the oceans. Within the watery depths of our own emotions, there are elusive and constantly shifting tides and sands as the hidden currents carry things towards our awareness or silently shift them away into the darkness. The greatest and most complex deceptions are always the ones that we do to ourselves. The mind does not want to remember upsets and traumas, especially the ones of our own creation. It magically pushes them away from the conscious mind and hides them in the darkest places, and then uses archetypal gatekeepers to keep them hidden from us. The density of the normal human condition is always less glamorous than we want it to be, but the more pieces of ourselves that are truthful and that hide in the watery abyss of our psyche, the more fractured and fragmented we can become. That leads us to feeling confused, vulnerable to manipulation from others, self-deception, and we become out of touch with the reality. This planet is associated with the astrological sign of Pisces, and this planet is known as the planet of self-undoing. Too often the lies we tell ourselves and the truths we cannot seem to integrate become the tools that we use for our own downfall. We cannot escape heartache in life, but we can instead actively move towards integration, healing, and bringing those lost parts back into our conscious mind. The Guru said to me long ago, "No part of yourself may be left behind in the translations of this physical expression into an enlightened one. We need all the parts, all the energies, and the whole truth of who we have been, who we are right now, and who we will become in order to have us ascend to the higher places of consciousness. All those steps are the fuel necessary to transcend this density and get us to move into another." Today, embrace the normal human imperfections. Recognize attachments to ideals, people, and situations are attempts of our wounding to take a shortcut to our own healing. There are no shortcuts on that journey. Just as Isis searched for all the parts of Osiris's body to make him whole and alive once again, another cannot ever do what we ourselves must accomplish. Each of us have lost parts that are hidden in the watery maws of time and space. It is us that have hidden them, and it must be us who reclaim them. The astrology today. The moon moves from emotional and deep-seeking Pisces into the action-driven sign of Aries, and we are all headed off to work. We might feel drained from the past few days. Energy might feel very inspired today, even though. Responsibilities might seem heavy, and we need to be careful with our resources as we try to get back on track. But, somehow there's some sort of inner juice to kind of keep us going. Mars and Jupiter will sextile this morning, and we are inspired by thinking of the possibilities if we make some small changes and actively move towards improving our health and well-being. What we do have today is courage, and courage goes a long way in this unpredictable world. Today, it is okay to compete with oneself, but do baby steps and not overextend. Keep the attitude of gentleness in all things. Let our convictions and faith in the personal growth potential that lives within carry us forward. The Sun and Saturn align, and this is a gentle reminder to only take on what is necessary in this moment. We will not be able to carry another at this time. My quote for today: "The power to understand current situations that require us to have healthy boundaries will give us the incentive to finally heal." And my blog for today. Seems the month snuck up on me, and now I'm behind on my monthly newsletter. I will get that back on track, I promise, today. And as I have more time to do just that, I got bogged down in astrological charts for clients that are super time consuming and seem to take over my schedule. It is so interesting when one is self-employed. While I would not change it for anything ever, Life, from my perspective, is that I'm always working on something in one way or another. At the end of each month, it is the newsletters and getting things out on video and YouTube, but also dealing with the ongoing challenges of my uncle and his partner's probate and the lawyers, and dealing with the banking systems and the complications of my mother's credit card, getting false information and charges being put on it, and trying to close the card completely and sort it all out with the bank. Whew. Life has a way of messing with all plans. It takes a lot to be grown up in this world. It is one thing to be grown up age-wise, but quite another to be able to be consistent and effective in a constantly and rapidly changing world. It does not take much to get behind in such a moment in time. So thank you everyone for being patient. So somebody requested that I do some cards for the day. And so what I decided to do today was to do 3 cards. One, which is, what is it from our past that is causing us to get blocked? Where are we in the present, and what should we be focusing on in the now? And then where am I to be looking and going in the future? Where are we to be going and looking in the future? So the first card, so where we need to look in our past, is the Princess of Swords. And so we have to look at the part of ourself that is stern and revengeful with destructive logic. This part that demands that we have our way no matter what. It's irrational, it's illogical, it's out of touch with the present moment and the reality. And so this part that just wants to keep beating either us up or others up for not being what we want them to be. And I go, guess what? Nobody can be anything other than who they are in that moment, and we can't make them into what we want them to be. We have to become what we want to be. Okay. And then the next card is the Six of Discs, which is the Success card. So focus on what's working. I mean, I know it's so easy to listen to the news and focus on what's not working, and so I don't even watch the news anymore. But so focus on what's working, and take little successes and feel really good about that and feel like you're making a difference in some way. And then where are we to go into the future? And I love this card. It's the Michael the Archangel card. And so it's the card of truth. So we have to go in the direction of truth. And, I'm not talking about like these weird facts that everybody gets bogged down in. I'm talking about like a bigger, more powerful consciousness truth. So in my in my intuitive patterns for the month of February 2022, I put a bit in the very end that I'm going to read to you that's related to this. One does not teach another the truth. That is impossible. It is the transmission of energy, authenticity, and care. Wisdom is a butterfly that becomes a Buddha. The butterfly cannot explain to the caterpillar how to become the butterfly, but the butterfly can inspire that longing to the caterpillar that more is possible. Thanks, everyone.